All right, people, we are back, and I have a good one here, the review of the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus. Now, if you saw my 18, the Dell Pro Max 18 Plus review, you know it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, workstation of 2025, although the HP ZBook is really good, the Fury. We're going to get into that in the next video, but I have the 16-inch here from the Dell Pro Max line here, and this is the 16 Plus, and the difference between that is this is not only a smaller version than the 18, but it also has a premium display here. So we're looking at a 16-inch 3840 by 2400 UHD Plus tandem OLED display, 120 hertz. So remember, we saw the 14 premium from the Dell Pro Max line, and that one had a 60 hertz tandem OLED, although that is a lot lighter and obviously really great laptop. I have my full review on that coming. But this one really, to me, is the creme de la creme of the Dell line. In my personal opinion, this really checks all the boxes. You get Thunderbolt 5 on this. You get that gorgeous tandem OLED display I just talked about, an amazing keyboard. You don't get a haptic touchpad. That's the one thing I wish they would have put on this. Decent speakers, not the best speakers. We'll talk about that. And the ability to put 3 SSDs in this. So you have 3 slots on this as opposed to the 4 and the 18, but 3 is great. RAID 0 option on this in terms of the SSD. So amazing, blazingly fast reads and writes on the SSDs. And of course, upgradable RAM. So this unit actually has the option for the CAM2 memory, which is 128 gigabytes, simply amazing. Although you can go with traditional or SODIMM slots if you want to, but having the CAM is really something else. I really love that forward-thinking kind of RAM here. So that is what we get here. So I've been using it for the past good part of 3 weeks to a month almost on this, and I think it's that long. And it's been pretty amazing. So let's get into the nitty gritty and find out why I think this is one of the best workstations, if not laptops, of 2025. Now, we're also going to take a look at this. This is the Dell Pro Plus earbuds, an excellent or complementary accessory that I think would go well with any of these Dell Pro laptops and workstations. So if you're going to do some video conferencing, you need to be in an airport lounge or whatever, you need the noise canceling features, all that kind of stuff. This is going to be really good. It's got really good ANC on them. It's got a really nice look on them. These are the EB525. You can see it there. And I think this is going to be a great accessory, a great complement to this amazing workstation. Let's get into why I like these as well. We'll talk about it in this review. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus with a tandem OLED display, brand new for 2025. The review is coming up. All right, we're going to start off with the build and the design here. So this is that magnetite color. You can get a look at it over here. And this is a premium design. Obviously, this is made to get good cooling in it. It's got an excellent cooling solution. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You're talking about the Dell logo, the new Dell logo there, and it does have it does do a pretty decent job in reducing smudges and preventing smudges, although not totally preventing them or totally eliminating them, but a pretty decent oleophobic coating on this. It does have a little bit of heft, although it is obviously lighter than the 18-inch version that we looked at. With just the unit alone, we're looking at 2.838 or 839 kilograms, or 838, make up your mind, 6 pounds, 4.1 ounces. Power supply and your power cord, 3.496 kilograms, and that is 7 pounds, 11.3 ounces. So definitely some heft to that. Now, considering the fact that this packing the Intel Core Ultra 9 285HX and the RTX Pro 5000 graphics, the Blackwell graphics, I mean, this is pretty amazing that you could actually take this on the go. So if you need to take it on an airplane, if you need to go into a hotel and do some work or somewhere mobile, this is certainly mobile enough, not the lightest thing out there, but if you need that power, it is certainly portable enough. So that is where I see it. And again, it'll be lighter and more portable than the 18-inch, which is a bigger beast, as we talked about in that review. All right, let's talk ports here, and it's really good. We have your 2.5 gigabit LAN port over here. You get your HDMI 2.1, 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports, and that is a welcome sight. I really love having Thunderbolt 5, especially if you go with the Dell Thunderbolt 5 dock, that smart dock that is really good. I'm going to have a separate video hopefully on that very soon. We'll talk about that. A full-size SD card reader and your smart card reader right there if you go with that, and that's an option. All right, moving over to the right side, you get a 3.5 millimeter microphone headphone combo jack, a USB Type-C Thunderbolt 4 port, and you get 2 USB Type-A ports, and you get a Kensington lock. So overall, an excellent port selection. And I love having those Thunderbolt ports split up, the 2 Thunderbolt 5 on the left and the Thunderbolt 4 on the right. Now, to get inside this laptop, I already went over it. It's pretty easy. Just loosen the Phillips head screws, remove the bottom plate, and you're in. We did that in the live unboxing. I left it up for the replay for those that didn't see it. Now, if you're interested in knowing what's upgradable, well, the cam memory here is an option, as you know. That is upgradable, 128 gigabytes Cam 2 memory. And you also get 3 SSD slots, and you can go with RAID 0 or different combinations of that. And that has been great. Check out the reads and writes that I got on this, which are excellent. And then, of course, you have the Wi-Fi Bluetooth combo card, and that is Wi-Fi 7 Bluetooth. That is working very well. No issue with either one. So that is great. Now, you could also go with the optional 5G. So for those that need to have that always-on connection on the road, you have that option. So plenty of options when it comes to expandability, serviceability, and connections, right? So you can go with that optional 5G, which I'm a big proponent of. I love having a dedicated 5G on a laptop or workstation, as you know. Now, once inside, you'll also notice the triple fan cooling setup. It is working excellent. Now, we'll talk about the thermal performance in a little bit. We'll also talk about the battery life in a little bit as well. We'll see how the tandem OLED affects that, right? So remember, we had IPS on the 18-inch, same battery size, but there is an effect that tandem OLED has on it, especially with something like this, so bright and so forth. So we'll talk about that. All right, let's talk battery life here. And this has the same battery size as the 18-inch that we saw, but it didn't do quite as well. Not surprising. And the reason being, I think the culprit here is obvious. It's the tandem OLED display. Obviously, the IPS on the 18 will use a lot less power, and it's a more efficient technology than this. Although tandem OLED is more efficient than a standard OLED, but we still got pretty decent battery life considering that this is a high-res 3840 by 2400, 120 hertz display. We still got a pretty good result on the PC Mark 10 Modern Office test, the video playback test. Obviously, this is going to be pretty decent. Not quite as good as the 18-inch, like I said, IPS versus the tandem OLED that we get here. This will be less power efficient. Now, they do supply you with that 280-watt USB Type-C charger, which I absolutely love, because I don't want to carry a proprietary charger in addition to other USB-C chargers that I carry in my bag for my smartphone, tablet, you know, all that stuff. So I'd like to have one charger to take with me on the road, not having to carry extra accessories. This is a big plus in my book. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, let's talk about the star of the show, this absolutely stunning OLED display. It's a tandem OLED, actually, to be more specific. 3840 by 2400, 16 inches. You're looking at a touchscreen display here, so it's multi-touch. Absolutely gorgeous. It is an HDR True Black display, so you can actually go up to 1000 nits HDR, and I measured well over 500 nits in standard dynamic range, so very, very gorgeous display here. It is a little bit glossy, but they do put a nice anti-reflective coating on it, so it's really not an issue, and especially because it gets so bright, you're not going to really have too much glare and reflection to really have to contend with. So if you want to get work done with this display, it's excellent. Excellent coverage of the color gamut. So if you're going to do some high-end video editing, DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, do Photoshop, Lightroom, stuff like that, this certainly has the excellent coverage there, and it also is color accurate. So it's going to be excellent in that regard. Now, in your downtime, or if you need to watch videos in HDR, obviously this is creme de la creme. We're talking here an excellent viewing experience to watching Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, and the like. It has been really great, especially in HDR. Everything just pops. Everything is really deep in terms of the blacks. The high contrast is here. It's an amazing display. Now, with any OLED display, including a tandem OLED, you're going to have to contend with things like PWM and screen flickering. They've actually did really well with the PWM. It's really not an issue too much on this, so they did a good job in reining in the screen flickering. And as far as burn-in, I didn't experience any, but of course, with any OLED, even tandem OLED to an extent, if you leave a static image long enough, you might have screen burn-in down the road. But I think they did a great job here in terms of the panel. So my overall takeaway is a stunning display on this really great workstation. All right, let's talk performance here. And as you know, this is running Intel Core Ultra 9 285HX. It's loaded for bear in terms of the RAM, the 128 gigabytes of CAM2 memory, the 2 terabytes of storage. We talked about that. Graphics-wise, excellent. But let's get to the CPU here. Excellent single multi-core performance, as indicated by the numbers in the Geekbench 6 and the Cinebench 2024. Excellent result there. So no matter what you're doing, whether it be Microsoft Office, email, web browsing, single core kind of task, single thread kind of task, it does well. Multi-core, multi-threaded tasks, you're going to do well on this. So really, really good. So if you're going to do things like video editing in DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, this did well. I ran the DaVinci Resolve benchmark, the Puget Bench DaVinci Resolve benchmark, and it did well. Comparing that to the 18, comparing that to the ZBook Fury 18, the G1i that I looked at as well. Of course, you'll see that full review in the next video. And then we have the graphics helping out in that regard, obviously. The RTX Pro 5000 Blackwell graphics here, which I would say is the equivalent of a 5090, and sometimes it can even surpass it, just depends on how it's utilized and the thermal system. That all plays a role in it, but equivalent, if you want to know if it's consumer equivalent, 5090, which is pretty impressive, as you can see from the Time Spy, the Firestrike, and of course the Wildlife Extreme scores. Really, really impressive here. So if you need to get high power performance on this mobile workstation, you certainly have it there. Now, the gaming, obviously, on your downtime is certainly possible with the 5090. It's not a gaming laptop in any way, but because it has such a powerful CPU-GPU combination, you certainly can take advantage of that and play some really nice AAA titles on some pretty high settings on your downtime. So that has been working out pretty well. Now, as far as the thermals are concerned, I didn't notice hardly any thermal throttling when it was put under maximum load, which is a big plus here. I would expect it here, obviously. And the surface temperatures remained relatively cool here, even under heavy load. So that triple fan cooling solution that they're employing here really does. It's a pretty advanced cooling solution, I should say. Now, fan noise is not going to be quite as quiet as the 18-inch, which was really remarkable if you think about it, how they were able to get it so low for such a powerful machine. Now, of course, this naturally will have a smaller chassis, so don't expect the same decibel levels as the 18-inch under heavy load. So it is louder, but not much louder to the point where it's so annoying. Big distraction. No, not the case at all. So pretty good in terms of the cooling here, especially with the fan noise, but not quite as good as the 18-inch, which of course has a bigger chassis, more headroom for the cooling solution. But I think they did a great job here overall with this. So pretty good there on that front. Speaking of that HP ZBook, this actually did better in some ways, the 16-inch than the 18-inch, right? So that ZBook 18 really didn't have as much power fed to the GPU, especially. That made a difference. That's a difference of 25 watts, 150 versus 175. So that made a difference, even though they're running the same GPU, the RTX Pro 5000 Blackwell graphics, right? So that was a big surprise. This outperformed, in some ways, that ZBook Fury G1i, the 18-inch mobile workstation. So that was very impressive. Now, of course, one of the things you're going to use this for, and it's really great at it, is, of course, AI, one of the hot topics, obviously, for the last couple of years. The kind of things you can do on this, LLMs and so forth, these are going to be really good for that. And I was able to run a pretty interesting benchmark. It's the Geekbench AI score, maybe not the most representative of what it can do, but I think it's all we have. We only have a few other benchmarks as they're starting to roll out. It's in its infancy in terms of benchmarking this kind of stuff. But as far as AI is concerned, there's plenty of RAM here in terms of the video memory on that RTX 5000 Pro. You got 24 gigabytes of video memory, and you also get 128 gigabytes of CAM memory. So that all leads up to really good AI stuff, and this is going to be excellent for those that are going to do those LLMs and so forth. So that is one real good purpose for this, and I'm really impressed with it so far. Now, when it comes to the camera, an excellent job here. 8 megapixel IR, meaning you can log in with face recognition with Windows Hello. You could also use the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner to log in as well. That worked out well. Setup was easy, registering my finger each and every time I used it. Now, this camera also has a shutter switch physical slider above the camera for more security and privacy. So for those that need that, it's there. The video quality and the audio quality are excellent. Let's give it a look and a listen, and you tell me what you think about it in the comments section below. So this is the camera on the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus. It is a 8 megapixel camera. It's IR. It also has all the studio effects, background blur here. You can take a look at it. Portrait blur. Here's the standard blur. And that worked really well. Now, this has a really good IPU, which is an image processing unit by Intel. They're really developing some really cutting edge stuff from Intel regarding the image processing and the actual the quality. And just to give you an example of what a phone can do, this is the iPhone 17 Pro Max, the front-facing camera. What do you think about the video quality, audio quality when you compare it to the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus with its 8 megapixel camera, which is on a workstation, laptops type thing? So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Now, when it comes to audio, we're looking at dual stereo speakers here, and I would say it's okay. They could have done a better job here. I thought the audio on that 14-inch premium device that we looked at, the Dell Pro Max 14 Premium, and that one had really great speakers. This one obviously is okay. It's good speakers, not the best I've ever heard. Could use a little bit more bass, maybe a little bit more oomph. And they have the room here. I'm not really sure what's going on there. So the audio is decent, but I thought it could be better. But of course, you be the judge. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. Now let's give it a listen. So on the left is the 18-inch. Let's get a listen to the sound on that one. We'll do the same track. All right, let's do the 16. Now, I absolutely love the keyboard here, and it does have a numeric keypad properly laid out. So if you're going to crunch numbers, Excel spreadsheets, and the like, that is there. So that is for those that like it. Obviously, not everybody wants a numpad, so it's a matter of personal preference because it does move the touchpad off center to put in that full-size numpad. Now, the keyboard itself, by the way, is excellent in terms of the key travel. The overall tactility and feedback has been great. So if you're going to type out documents in emails, Microsoft Word documents, stuff like that, very comfortable. Great job there. Got a multi-stage backlight. That worked well. And it's got a nice size touchpad. It's a glass precision touchpad, so it's very responsive to scrolling and doing gestures. Now, the one thing that I keep harping on, I want to see a haptic touchpad in this high-level device. Unfortunately, they didn't put one on here. They did put one, by the way, on the Dell Pro Max 14 Premium, which is excellent. But, you know, we get a traditional style touchpad here. It works well. No complaints on that front. Just at this price point, at this high-end type of machine, I would like to see a haptic touchpad, but that's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. All right, let's check out Linux on this. It's one option, by the way, when you check out, you can put Ubuntu instead of Windows on this, Windows 11. So I would say that might be a nice option for you, or you could do it yourself, or you could dual boot it. Now, I was able to test Linux, and let's check it out to see what's working and what's not. I am booting it off this live USB drive, and everything seems to be working. The camera's working, the touchscreen is working. You can see that here. The only thing I didn't get working is the sound. It's using dummy output. It doesn't see the actual hardware, but I think the drivers need to be updated and you'll be able to get that up and running. Should not be an issue. So the touchscreen is working, as you can see there. The touchscreen, the touchpad is working. The keyboard's working. The brightness up and down is working. Obviously, I still have to do the dummy output issue here for the audio, but I think that is not hard to fix. I hope not, at least. And then there is the camera. Let's take a look at the camera here. And let me open that up. And yes, the camera is working. So I looked at it earlier. And there is the camera. You can see it there. So that is working. So it looks like Ubuntu Linux is working here. So not an issue. So that is good. Let me know if you have any comments or questions about it in the comments section below. All right, let's get these buds open here. These are the Dell Pro Plus earbuds. So pretty nice packaging here. And there is the earbuds itself. Let's take it out of this. And what else do we get in the box? We get extra small, small, and large. So I'm assuming I have medium already on the device there. Some documentation along with your USB Type-C cable to charge. You get some of your documentation, warranty information, as I mentioned. So there it is. This package is made from 100% renewed or recyclable material. All right, let's get a closer look at this. And as you can see, obviously the earbuds, but there's a USB-C dongle that's going to be good for those that want to use wireless as opposed to Bluetooth. Some, I guess, devices may not have Bluetooth. So good thinking there by Dell. So that dongle will allow you to pair these earbuds to computers, I guess, without a Bluetooth. So that's pretty convenient. And then there, of course, ANC on this. These are going to be really good. I'm going to test them out. And if I get enough demand, I'll do a full review on these. But so far, I'm very impressed with the way these are looking. And hopefully, they'll sound really good. All right, here we have the Dell Peripheral Manager. Obviously, we can adjust the active noise cancellation. Let's leave it on for now. And then, of course, you have the in-ear detection. Let's leave that on. And then you can control volume with the gestures as shown here. And then, of course, you can configure Microsoft Teams and the gestures, right? So those are the different things you can do, going to the next track and so forth. And then let's go next. Dell Audio. This is an app you can download to your phone, whether it be Android or iOS. You can do that. I'll actually do that a little bit later. And then that is it. Let's go to finish right there. And that is it. So here it is, fully configured and total customization here with this Dell Peripheral Manager. Display and Peripheral Manager actually handles that. I downloaded it from the Windows Store. No problems there, and very good overall. All right, let's talk about the price. Obviously, this is very expensive for a consumer, but it's not geared towards consumer. And as I always say in these mobile workstations, which are geared towards large corporations, businesses, which tend to buy these in bulk, and they'll get discounts from Dell and also get discounts from Lenovo, HP for their business and professional lines. So just keep that in mind. You're also getting a lot of security features you don't get, and those things add up. And the research and development, the actual R&D that went into this, the development of the hinges on this, look how stiff that is, how much opening and closing it can take. It's really more durable, actually. They put this under a tremendous amount of testing. I actually went to the Dell factory, or the Dell headquarters, really, where they do the testing, actually, and that has been pretty amazing. I did that a couple of years ago, and the amount of rigorous testing, water, environments, all kinds of temperatures, I mean, they put it through everything imaginable. So it's really meant to take a licking and keep on ticking. So keep that in mind as well. That being said, yeah, it's a lot of money, but companies will use this in a couple of projects and it would pay for itself and then some. So they're not going to blink at the price. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So when you look at the price, keep that in mind. It's not your average Best Buy consumer laptop. This is something on a different level. They have these precision type drivers. And, you know, like the analogy is, if you're going to build a bridge, you want to make sure doesn't have to be the fastest laptop out there, but it has to be most accurate, most precise, the precision is what is needed here. And that's obviously because one calculation and you're off, you have a bridge collapse. It could be a calamity, a disaster. So you have to be really precise with these. And hence, remember the name Precision, that's its predecessor's name, and it's apropos for this type of workstation. So overall, the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus here is a home run, in my opinion, especially for a business that's looking to have something that's portable enough, that has the power to take with you in terms of getting real work done, high-end video editing, architecture. You're looking at medical imaging, you're looking at 3D rendering, stuff like that. SolidWorks, ISV certified applications, this all works very well. So I highly recommend it here for 2025. It's probably one of the best mobile workstations, if not laptops, of 2025. Kudos to Dell for putting this together here, and an amazing output here in terms of this mobile workstation. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's something out there you want me to review. And if you are a casual viewer of my content, why not consider subscribing? It doesn't cost you anything. And we're making our big push for 300,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're on pace maybe to even surpass that. The amount of growth has been tremendous, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Gonna buy something like the Dell Pro Max 16 Plus here, or any of the others we see on the channel, check out the links in the description below. Yes, they are affiliate links. No, I do not get a huge commission. A small commission helps support the channel. It actually helps keep the lights on here in the studio. So until next time, this is Andrew, and I'll see you in the next video.